usually something in form of a file, or then that is electronically written, actually electronically written. So that is a kind of illusion provided by operating system to users, or the file users, better to say, where we can deal with some input output. Usually the files are kept in secondary memory, but if you cannot access secondary memory, so that's why through primary memory communication is done. First of all, it is written in main memory or primary memory, but you know the nature of primary memory, it's a volatile, so that's why it will keep some information, and if you turn off the computer system, that information is lost. So as a result, you have to transfer that information is transferred to secondary memory for consistency. Finally, that thing is kept there. Okay. So this is the purpose of file. We knew that time different file opening modes. That means R, W, O, R plus, W plus, A plus. Do you have any doubt in understanding this mode? R, W, O, R plus, W plus, A plus. Other than there are variety of modes available, but for our exam, for our syllabus, I think this enough. These are enough. Because we have to deal with text files, and we had also uh, actually discussed. I have also discussed this program, that copying the content of entire file into another file. So I have also discussed these three things. That means end of file, it's a macro, a function to read character from a file, f get c, f put c, and these things are applied here actually. So and you can also search f get c, f put c in detail. This information is very easily available online. So now we are actually dealing with the different types of applications. That is nothing but record handling. Okay. So just like record will put some information in the file. Let's say a student may have different fields, attributes, name, roll number, marks, male, female, then address, in this way actually. So in form of a record, we may put information. There are variety of ways to do so. That means there are some functions which can directly put structure element into a file, but that will be too complicated for your space. So I like to make it very simple, because uh, I don't think all of you are from CST or IT, so there are variety of departments in your class. So that's why I like to keep it very simple and understandable for everybody. But if you get into the detail, you will find that there are, other than these functions, there are a lot more functions that are used for handling file, but the popularly used functions are fprintf, fscanf, fgetc, fpc, this type of thing. EOF, NULL, null, these macros are very useful. Now, uh, you know the meaning of this statement, file star fp. Actually, we are creating one pointer to structure file. That will actually have the file pointer, that that will point to some, or connected, associated to some file available in secondary memory. Now, this is character, address, name. These two are the strings. Why are they strings? Because address and name, these two are the text information, or better to say character information. Now integer I, roll, marks. So actually we are preparing data structures or data types for holding these records. Okay, holding these records. Is there any copy of that file? No, I think a copy would have been much better. So let me download that thing. So there is a scope for annotation. Okay, so name actually for keeping these two things, name and name, roll number, mark, in this way, you can clearly find the association why this type of declaration. Okay, so you know the meaning of this declaration. Now, sorry, if p equal to f open abc dot k, what does it mean by it? Can anybody explain what does it mean by it? This statement. Can you please explain what is the meaning?
First, we open the file abc.txt and the right some
Exactly. We are trying to open abc.txt in write mode. Okay. The meaning of write mode means if the file exists, then it will overwrite the information, and if it does not exist, then it will uh, create the file. And if it is not possible to create or not possible to access or like that, then it returns null. So you have to know the meaning of write mode, otherwise you cannot properly appropriately use the mode. Whatever what you have suggested or what you have explained, that is very true. That abc.txt is a file, and I am going to open that file in write mode. Purpose is that I am going to write this information one after another. Okay. First this record, then this record, then this record, this record. So here actually we are taking this record information or data from user. Actually, this should be within a loop. I think there is some loop or like that, so that is not available here. Whatever, you will adjust. No problem. You know about loop lot more. Yeah. So first of all, we take role, which is ampersand role, enter marks, ampersand marks. So in this way, actually, we do. Okay. Any problem to understand this part?
no sir.
No. These are simply taking information from user. You have done it multiple times in your lab assignment. There should not be any problem. Okay. Now this line is something new to you. AF printed. You have used printed. Purpose of printed is printing on console or printing on screen, whatever. But here actually I am using a printf. A printf means printing into file. That means writing into file. So you cannot see the output immediately. It will be written into file. You have to open the file to check the output. Okay. It will not display on the screen. Mind it. When you do the practical, you will find that if you use fprintf and then you run the program, you will not find something appearing on the screen. Okay. The output will be available in the file. So from your directory, from your you have to open abc.txt file where you will get this information printed. Okay. So this is the idea behind syntax. So but you just look at the syntax here. Actually, if had it been only a syntax, you just have to write percentage, percent d in this way, then followed by name of the variables, name, role, mark in this way. Okay. But here additionally you have to supply pointer to file. Okay. Understood? So basically three types of argument. you have to supply first pointer to FIL comma then format specifier percentage percent d percent d and then name of the variables. Okay, so last time I discussed that difference. If you look for the syntax, you will also find. Let me check how do we find it. Let's say I need to find the syntax. Sorry. Whatever. I am finding this syntax. Okay. So, so this should be the syntax. Example, if I write, and this is ordinary printed, but here actually if you look at the f printed, here this is the pointer to FILE. It should be always pointer to FILE, and then format specifier, and then. But one thing I had made the mistake there. You can notice that I have not written any new line character, and I have not used any loop. So as a result, every element, all the records will be printed in the same line. After Kolkata, Roving 1830 will appear, then Pinky 1948 will appear in this way. So there should not be any input line. So if you like to appear like the visualization I have given above, you have to use new line followed by it. Okay, just like here. Okay, just wait. Just like here actually. We have seen that followed by this I have used new line. Okay. And there is a loop. Okay. Otherwise you cannot control or you cannot repeat the information. That means if there are multiple records, you have to keep the data uh, collecting. You have to from the user. So as a result, just so this loop is for collecting the repeated information. That means it's not about a single record. You have to take multiple records multiple times. You have to collect this type of information. Okay, so this loop and new line you have to provide. And finally, let's check what happens. Finally, you have to write f close x. Can you tell me the meaning of this instruction?
So we are closing the file.
Closing the file. That means we are breaking the link between FT and the actual file. Actually, and that physically it means we are closing the file. So this is the opening, this is the closing, and this is writing information into file. And as we have opened the file in write mode. Any problem to understand this?
No, sir.
Any problem to understand this?
No,
I
sir.
hope no. And that thing I have mentioned here down below, that inserting multiple records at a time. So you may use while loop, for loop, while whatever you like. You may also take user input. Let's say you have taken one user input that whether we insert a record. Do you like to insert a record? Then user supplies yes or no like that. You collect that response from user in string form or character form. Then finally you check if that response is yes or no, whatever. Then you will run that logic and then you repeat the instruction. In the meantime, if user supplies no or like that, then you stop collecting information. So I think this is the way you can populate the information based on user requirement, not like fixed number of records you are going to put. Understand the difference between these two approach? Here actually you are fixing that number. Maybe you can take in from the user, infinity, take it from the user, but still before running the loop it is fixed. But if you take one response from the user that it is yes or no like that, and you run it depending on the value being yes or no, then maybe at each iteration you have the scope to stop the loop. Okay, that is something the policy that is taken by the programmer. So you have all sort of flexibility satisfied. Now, now it's time to read the record. What you have written, if I can visualize the information on the console or like that. So that kind of approach I have uh, prepared here. So first of all, you tell me, do you know the meaning of APOF? I just have explained it earlier. No, it is only the UF. This is the macro, but a function, there exists a function actually. If we supply AP as an argument, it returns 1 if content is read. If content is read, that means AOF. So if EOF is reached, then APOF FP is returned 1. Otherwise, it is 0. That means if it is not the end of the character, then it will be 0. Otherwise, if it is end of the character, it is 1. So through function, you can also check. You can directly read the character and compare if it is EOF. That is one of the ways I have used earlier, but this is another way. Through this function, you can also check. So this is used here. So APOF 0, what I have explained on the right side, can you tell me what is the meaning of it? What is the meaning of it?
Sir, if we have reached the not have not reached the end of the file, we
And
can.
exactly, that is the meaning. We have not reached the end of file. That means we have not completely read the file. Okay. So that is the meaning. So just this is the use of this type of function. No problem. So let me check. You have to create the similar data structure because ing role character. Maybe I have not written all of them. You have to write because there are other fields like address, mark, sex, different types of things are there. So you have to create the data structure. Just I'm explaining the logic behind it. Okay. So when you are going to read information back, then it should be you have to open the file in read mode. Okay. So if you look at the syntax here, these are not done. abc.txt done. R. And while APOF equal to 0, that means it is not, while it is not the end of the file, because when end of the file is reached, you don't have anything left to take it out and display. Okay, so that's why you can simply reject that scenario, you can simply rule out that scenario. So, but if it is not 0, then still there is a content. So F scanner not reading from console. It's not reading from terminal actually. It's reading from file. So F key, then percentage, percent D. I think you know the syntax of scanf. Just similar to printf, you try to understand. There are three parts actually. One is pointer to FILE, then format specifier, then name of the variable. And just like before, if it is not a string, you have to use ampersand symbol. Okay. Just like ordinary scanner. Any problem to understand this instruction? Do you have any problem to understand this
No,
instruction?
sir.
No. So it's simply taking name and roll number from there, and then we are printing that on the terminal. We are displaying these things on the screen. So actually, but mind it, you have to supply the format specifier in the way they are organized in the file. Because the first item is string, then integer, then followed by space, then another character or like that. So in this way, if it is organized in this way, then you have to place your format specifier in this way. Otherwise, it will not run, or it will run, or it may run, but it will not provide desired output. Okay. Just like if I try to read the record, first we have to write percentage, then space, then percent D space, then percent D, then space, then percent C, then space, then percent S. So in this way, you have to design the format specifier for reading information from file. So you have to deal with this record. And not only that, you have to write the new line character after it. Okay. Because after that it will read new line, then it will go down to the next line, and then it will do the same thing, and after that it will do the same thing for the next line. So in this way it will keep on reading information until end of file is reached. Or if you like to restrict that this number of information I need, let's say among 100 records you need only 10 like that. So you can set a loop that will run from this number to this number. So in this way you can tune your program accordingly. Okay. Now tell me, do you have any problem in understanding the entire lesson, that is dynamic memory, 2D memory, 2D array, string, and file system? Okay, then
Sir, can you please repeat the last part, sir?
last part. Last part. I think last part means this one. This entire this one.
Yeah, this code. Yes.
Actually, actually, better use it. Is there any online C programming? Better use some. Okay, let me explain that first. Just this is actually the declaration of data structure. That means I have only declared roll number and character, but if the record is like that, then you have to declare the entire thing. That means character, address, then name, then is integer values. Otherwise, Actually, these things are available in a file, but you have to temporarily store it into some memory variables which will be displayed on the terminal. So that is the idea behind this type of thing. So now to collect the values, we need these data types. Okay, these data structure variables. To collect the values, we need these variables. Okay, so let's say, so here actually for the sake of simplicity, I just have considered roll number and name. Now I assume that the record contains only roll number and name, nothing more in this way. Okay, so roll number and name. This is roll number, this is name. So record contains. Now we are opening in a read mode. That means we can only read information. We cannot write information into a file for the time being. You know what is the meaning of this FIL star SP? Then while FEOF FE, any problem to understand this?
Sir, what is APOF? That part.
FEOF is a function that returns either 1 or 0. 1 means if the content is completely accessed, that means content is completely scanned, or better to say that it is the end of file. Okay, so all contents. Okay, any problem to understand this part? You check it. Otherwise, it will be difficult to understand. APOS FP equal to 1 if it is the end of the file. Okay, just like this. Here actually we have done this. A is not equal to EOF. So here through function, here strategy is different. We are collecting characters from the file and checking if it is EOF or not. But here actually we are not collecting characters. We are supplying directly the pointer, because when it reads a character, its pointer automatically advances. So actually it returns 1 or 0. 0 for still there is a content. Okay, but if it is 1, the end of file is reached. For the time being, you have to understand that it is the last character of the file. I think you have missed the last class, that's why you have some problem with understanding. So actually last character is considered to be end of file. Okay. So if end of file is reached, that means no more information is available in the file to read. So but if it is 0, then still there is information. So we write in this way. Then as long as there is an information, there is a scope to get the information from and print it on the console. So that is what I am doing. Okay. So fscanf, using fscanf, I am reading information and putting this into this memory variable, and now I am simply printing this memory. As a result, it is normal printed, not f printed. Okay. Can you tell me why is it normal printed, not f printed?
Sir, we want to show it on the terminal window.
Exactly. We are not dealing with a file here. We have taken information from file and stored temporarily into these two variables, name and roll number. Now we don't have to deal with the file. We can directly print that information from the variable. That's why here no fprintf is used. For reading from file, we have used fscanf. But after that, when it is available into some variables, you can very easily print it on the console. Okay. So I think you do one or two programs because and there will be a lab assignment for it. So everything will be clear. Then let me check if I can demonstrate that thing. Okay, just show it. I have figure simulator going to QS. Okay, this is complicated. Let's check if we have any Windows software available or not. Because Linux requires the setting up of virtual machine. So let me check if um, Windows program is available or not. C++, I think. If I can download. Let me check. I don't have that kind of thing available. But right now we don't have something has been downloaded. I don't know it will work or not. I think there is a time, that's why I have to hope to explain it. This is not good. I don't know I don't know whether it will work or not, but still let us try. If possible, I will use today's program. When we set this type of thing, we have to check if some basic program runs here or not. Okay. So let me check if Hello World runs here or not. Okay. So since it is window based, so things are very tiny. I think. If there is preference, display size very tiny. Is it okay for you to read the code?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, I better increase the size. Still, I think some people cannot do it. 20. Okay. Let me check if Hello World runs here or not. Otherwise, you have to. Since it is window based, you have to include Conaio.h. Otherwise, console will not appear. Okay. And to hold the screen, it gets it. But that is not required if you are Linux user. Let us save the file. Here actually, we save terminal. Inside that code, I am writing the program. Let's say it is xyz dot c. So let us run that, compile and run. Source file not compiled. I'm not sure whether it has been properly set up or not. Let's compile it. There is some environmental problem, I think. Even if I read quiet mails, I think still it will have some problem. Okay. What is the problem here? So there is some environmental problem here. That's why I cannot show you. I think. Don't know what is the reason here. It is available inside the code. It's programming. What is the reason? Oh, it's only XYZ. What is the extension? CPPI. That may be the problem behind it. Save as you have to write, let's say XYZ1 dot CI, explicitly put the extension. It should be C source file. So it, uh, that may be the reason behind it. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Source file, not from file. Still there is a problem. Why is it not compiling? Just one project. Is the problem behind it? Hmm. I think I have not used this version. There must be some problem behind it. It should not be problem with the source code. There is some environmental issue. If I save it as hmm, C++ source file, then what happens? Oh, okay. Beta version is report box. I think there is some problem with the environment. So that's why it's not taking. Okay, this version has some problem. However, uh, it's not desirable. If it does not run here, then maybe I cannot use the file system because it's a very simple program. It should run here. Now, tell me that if you have any problem in understanding the theory, any problem to understand the theory, any problem? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So if you don't have any problem, then email me. And I may
Thank you,
have
sir.
to check what is the reason behind it. There is some environmental problem, not problem in the source code. Maybe that version is not compatible with my computer system or operating system. Maybe it is because of that. I have randomly downloaded that thing and haven't checked the compatibility option. So that's why it may not run. So, but if you install the appropriate version, it should not be the desirable scenario. Okay. So, if you have already understood and you don't have any query regarding this, so you may leave. No problem.